I'm here with Dr. Joel Boyd, team physician for the Minnesota Vikings, and we would like to know just some of the interesting things about being a team physician for the Vikings. So what's a typical game day like?
Well, a typical game day starts actually fairly early, since we play usually at noon these days. But it starts about 9:30 when I have to be at the stadium, because I usually have to bring most of the medical supplies with me, or things that we may need during the game. Some of the guys, you have to go through their pre-routine. Some of them like using some pretty common over-the-counter anti-inflammatories, things like that are helpful. But for the most part, my job is to just sort of be readily available. You'd be surprised. Sometimes things happen overnight. Guys will get sick, or not just with flus and colds and things like that, but also wake up with a numb arm or a numb foot, or all kinds of things that we have to take care of. So we do have some action, typically a little bit before the game. Otherwise, we spend a lot of time basically doing not much until game time. Then when it's game time, just like everyone else, everybody gets ramped up and ready to go. When there's the kickoff, we're really in tune to the game, because we almost have to sort of foreshadow or see kind of what may happen, or where the important points are that people can get hurt. And so then you become more focused about plays and players, and watching for when players are down and that kind of thing.
Okay. So do you stay with the team the night before in the hotel?
I do. I stay with the team overnight. Again, mostly just in case our head trainer, Eric Sherman, needs anything. And so I usually have the medical box with me. So if something comes up, or a player needs an IV, or if any kind of cold, or not sleeping well, or any of those things, they have access to their medical personnel.
Okay. And so you travel with the team when they go on the road?
They go on the road, yes.
Okay. So what's one of the most fun things about traveling with the team?
Well, I think traveling with the team can be fun. It's not only fun with the team, but also with your colleagues. So with the other docs, it's fun. It's a time where we can relax a little bit and talk about other things other than just medicine, but also being around the team, because the reality is most of these guys are really young. So for me, at least at my age, it's like traveling with your kids. So they have games, and they have their iPads and their phones and their music and the whole bit, and so you get to keep up with what's going on.
So they keep
in
you
their
young.
world. They do. They
keep you
do.
young.
Absolutely.
Have they kept you in tune with technology and all the latest gadgets?
Yes, and apps.
Oh, yeah.
That's really a fun one, because usually when you're on the plane, they walk by and they'll say, hey, they'll say, what movie are you watching, Doc? And you'll point out a movie and say, oh, that's pretty good, but you should watch this one, or you should watch that one. So they always have a suggestion for you. Or they'll walk by and say, oh, I have that app. Oh, you need to graduate to this.
Oh, nice. See, that's good to have those inside tips.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good. So do you eat with the team meals and all that?
Team meals, which can be very, I tell you, it's tough. It's tough. You're trying to keep a figure around those guys. It's, the night before, when we arrive, it's a pretty crazy schedule with the eating thing, because when on the day before we leave, we usually meet at Winter Park, and then at Winter Park we have lunch. And so there's usually a nice lunch spread, and they do a very good job cooking over there, so you always want to eat something. And then you take a bus to the plane, and when you get on the plane, they have a whole tray of snacks, cookies, chips, the whole bit. And so you grab whatever you want. You go to your seat, and on your seat there's another little package of water and peanuts and fig Newtons, things like that. And then once you sit down and the plane takes off, then they come around and serve you dinner or lunch, or late lunch, again, which is usually either chicken or turkey or something like that. And then once you land, which is usually about 4 in the afternoon, most of the guys go to dinner on their own. So that's always nice too, when you're in another city, just experimenting, going to different restaurants and that kind of thing. So we'll go out to eat, and so usually have a meal at about 6. And then at 9:15 we have team snack, which is usually provided by the hotel, and the hotel lays out a huge buffet. I think the staff for the Vikings actually, gives them suggestions about what to put out, but that includes you can't everything from chicken wings to pizza to salads, you name it, it's all there. And so you get this late night snack, and if you want, you can take some back to your room if you want. Or,
So does the Vikings strength coach take you through a workout once you get to the hotel after you've had all of this?
you know, I wish he would, actually. Unfortunately, we're not on his list, and so we have to kind of be very mindful of that fact, because you can put on, a few extra pounds. And the next morning it starts all over again. So you get up in the morning and you have a huge breakfast buffet, the whole thing, omelets to order, steak, eggs, everything that, a big growing guy who's about to play a game would need.
Or the team physician.
Or the team physician,
So that
if
you're
he's if he's so in tune.
Now I heard that there's something in their cafeteria called the DOT system.
Oh yes, they do have a DOT system.
Okay,
Actually, I think that's a very good system. I've always commented that I thought this should happen in schools more often. But what they do is they go around and they put different colored dots on foods that are either high calorie or high fat versus low calorie, low fat. And so green dots represent foods low calorie, low fat. Red dots, high calorie, high fat, and yellows are in between. And so at least you have some idea when you're, going through the cafeteria, and people are all over the place, whether it's in the pasta line or the sandwich line or the main meal line, what some of those foods, where they fit sort of on your plate or what you're trying to do. If you're
Helps
trying
them
to
make healthier
balance your diet, have a healthy meal, you can pick all green dots. But having a red dot in a day or something is not so bad. But you just don't want all red dots. That's the problem.
Stay away from all red dots. That's a good rule to remember. I wish they'd come and put that in the foods at my house.
Yeah. Yes. No. That exactly. Exactly. Well, my wife takes away all the red dots, so I don't have to worry about it.
There you go. Nice. So, can you give us a idea of maybe one of a funny moment that's happened on a trip? What's one of your favorite memories or moments that's happened on a Vikings game day or trip?
One funny moment, and it was more of a scary moment than a funny moment, in that when you sometimes have days where you are after you get up in the mornings and you go have breakfast and you work out, and so you have that little bit of downtime. And I remember taking my nap and then waking up in a bit of a panic because I knew the bus was supposed to be leaving at 1:15 or something, like for a 3 o'clock game. And I had 15 minutes to sort of pull everything together, and I was the last one to get to the bus. That was the closest that the bus has ever come to leaving me.
Would they leave you?
Oh yeah. They have no bones about leaving me.
Would they leave a player?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
have to
would.
figure out their own way to get there.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Timeliness.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes,
That's
very
good.
much so.
All right. How about your favorite memory? Do you have a favorite memory
Favorite memory.
or favorite moment that you've had as the Vikings team physician?
Well, we've had a lot of good moments. I mean, you've had proud moments. I mean, you always have proud moments when players come back, especially ones that you've treated, and you watch them have success. Either whether they are still with your team or they're playing on another team. I've had proud moments where I've actually had family members who played for other teams and have them come in and play, against us, and just having them play on the other team. And watching that was also a very proud moment. Moments, there's nothing that beats the exhilaration of, obviously like comebacks and end of game drama and all that kind of stuff. I mean, those are just fantastic. And, who could forget the Brett Favre pass, in the end of the end zone against the 49ers. Yeah, that was just unbelievable, kind of a moment. So
do you cheer on the sideline during moments like that?
I'm gonna say I try to maintain my cool, but I'm sure whoever sees this will be laughing and say, "Oh, I don't know about that." But I try to remain relatively calm, and I also try not to coach, which I might have a tendency to do. So I try to stay in my lane.
Okay.
But sometimes it's hard to do.
Yeah, I bet you get excited and get into the game.
Absolutely.
Very nice. All right, well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today about your experiences.
Thanks. A lot of fun.